Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Limitless or Joe here, and as you can see, we are going to be trying to do something a little bit different with webcam from now on, if we can, at least on most of the videos. Before we get into any tips and tricks, I'm going to quickly send a trade to our previous giveaway winner, which is 5,000 KRN items, and then in this video we'll be starting a new giveaway. So all you have to do to enter is subscribe with alerts on if you haven't already, like the video, and drop a comment telling me what your favorite thing to do is in your spare time. Now we're gonna go ahead and send some items, like I said, about 5,000 KR worth of items. There we go, that's the previous winner. And now we're gonna go ahead and get into some advanced tips and tricks. This is pretty much honestly going to be most of the stuff I do and know of from other players, and this video is going to mainly be for, like, let's say an average player, slightly above average player, and of course real beginners. This should, some of these tricks should be able to help you at least. If you're a really good player, this is probably not the video for you. You're probably gonna do most of these things, if not know most of these things. So where to start? There's a lot to cover in this video. So the first things first, how to get better. Well, my biggest thing off the bat is going to be, knowing the spawns. So we're gonna hop into a game and we're quickly just gonna go over, what I'm talking about exactly. So it's gonna be knowing the spawns and spawn trapping in public matches. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about that first. So also, I need to reset my FPS. We're at 69. Okay, so quickly, I'm going to go over some of the spawns on Undergrowth, and from that point, I would recommend going into public matches, and when you play a map, besides Undergrowth, I guess, just try to really pay attention to where players are spawning in at. I would go over every single map, but it would just take, I think, a bit too long for this video. So like I said, we're going to quickly just run through Undergrowth and then talk about spawn traps on this map as well. So one spawn is right here. There's a wall bang, which is great. Another spawn is in this area right here. Super easy to kind of kill. There's a spawn in this room as well. There is a spawn back here in this corner. And I might miss a spawn, but I'm just going over the general spawns that I know of that I mainly pay attention to. There's a spawn in this corner right here, and I'm trying to think, but I don't think I missed any. If anything, I missed like one. I believe there is a spawn here that doesn't really happen much, but it can happen. And I think that's pretty much all of them on Undergrowth. And I think there's even a spawn here sometimes that's like unlikely but can happen. So those are the spawns. Now, on this map specifically, we're going to be talking about spawn traps. Now, one spawn trap that I know of that I do commonly, and if I can, I'll try to just quickly do it. Let me see if I can find an Undergrowth game with some actual players to do this on real quick, just to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. Hopefully the camera wasn't shaking either, because I was shaking my leg. I've been pretty antsy lately. Okay, so let's see if we can do a spawn trap. I need to get in my position. Now this is different on, obviously all kinds of maps. So the spawn trap is right here. Basically, you're going to be patrolling this hallway. You're going to be aiming down here because, like I said, that spawn is down there. There's spawns down here and here. So you're basically, the whole idea is you're going to be patrolling this area, and you're going to be just constantly, racking up kills pretty much here. Now, that was my mistake right there. I should have actually been able to kill that guy. I just so happened to, be I'm a little distracted, I would say, because obviously I'm recording when I'm playing. When I'm not recording, it's easy to focus on what I'm doing. But I'll try to get a nice little feed here if I can. Just focus for a second and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So as you can see, right now, we are spawn trapping. It's pretty obvious. These players also happen to be decent, but, it does work well. This is a good way to get nukes if you're looking to get nukes. This is how I do it a lot of times on this particular map. And like I said, if you're really focused in and not making mistakes, it's really easy to rack in nukes of this map. So like I said, I'll just show you guys a little example right now of what that looks like. And as you can see, it's working fairly well. So another thing that also can help you get nukes and just become a better player is pre-firing. So as you can see there, I was actually pre-firing a little bit on some of those kills. Like even, I'll show you guys in a second again, but okay. It's a little hard because these guys are kind of just swarming me, but like right there, I'm pre-firing that angle. Right here, started to pre-fire that angle, and I'll do it again right now. Now, if there was somebody there, you know, they would instantly be killed. Even right there, I was starting to pre-fire. Right there again, pre-firing. I didn't hit my shots because I had to reload, but it was working. And as you can see, the spawn trap is also working right now. Now there you go. See that pre-fire worked. I did hit him a few times there. And as you can see, I am racking up a lot of kills right now. Okay, I did die. But as you can see, you could clearly get a nuke on a lobby that's a little bit less, you know, like less skilled players. Or you can honestly get a nuke against good players if I was really focusing, or you were really focusing. I'm sure you could do it. But pre-firing, spawn trapping, and knowing the spawns are all very important things. So try to really just master those aspects of things. And as soon as you do, you'll be in a lot better shape. And I promise you'll be better. Now, the next thing is ranked matches. So let's see if we can quickly get into a ranked match. If we can't, I will cut the clip. But we'll just play a little bit more and talk a little bit about other things while we wait to get into ranked match, because now we're going to go over how to do better in 1v1 ranked matches, which is something that I commonly do, / how to do better in 1v1 wagers, because this is also something that I do quite often. Now, while we're waiting to join a game, another thing, which is a big tip. Now, this is more for beginner players / average players, but weapon selection. If you're going for a nuke, you're going to be wanting to use an AK, an SMG, or I mean possibly a revolver. But you're going to be wanting to use a weapon that has a lot of bullets, a pretty good fire rate, high damage, because in free-for-all, in lobbies like this, you're going to be fighting multiple people at the same time, and you're going to need a lot of bullets to kill multiple people / you know, reload as less as possible, pretty much. Or as least as possible, pretty much. Now, I think we're going to hop into a ranked game here in a second, I believe. And now we're going to go over 1v1 wagers, how to get better at that, and just 1v1 ranked in general. Now, I don't know if I'm going to win because I am a pretty high rank and it is kind of distracting to play. But I'll try. So I'm going to play the typical style that I play, which is what I call a defensive style of playing 1v1 / wagers. And there's offensive, and then there's a couple other styles too, and it looks like the player didn't join, so fine. Since the player didn't join, we're just gonna go. I was gonna actually do a live match, but since the player didn't join, I'll just host a game and I'll go over that quickly in a host game, because it'll just be easier for me to explain things. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. And this can definitely help a lot of people. If anybody, you know, is going to be playing ranked stuff, this will help you guys out a lot. So because as you know, I do win a pretty good amount of my ranked games. So we're gonna go ahead. Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna go ahead and host a game on Shipyard here. Let me go ahead and do that, and we're gonna start going over some stuff quickly. Okay, so first strategy that I play a more defensive strategy. Now, I sometimes vary this depending on who I'm playing, but let's say you're playing a very good player or a player that's better than you. You're gonna be wanting to play more of a defensive strategy because you're not as good. Now, most really good players will probably play offensively because they're really good. So, for example, when you spawn in, let's say you die, or when you spawn in, you're going to want to play defensive. So that means using objects like this, and you're going to want to hold angles. So he might come from there, he might come from there, and you're going to just want to hold angles. Another thing is, again, knowing the spawns on this map. So let's go over those. There's a spawn in this area right here. There's a spawn over here, right behind this car. There is a spawn behind that right there, which is what I was just at earlier. And let me just think, because I feel like I am missing some. There is a spawn there, and I'm trying to think where other. I think there's one more spawn that I'm missing. You can spawn here. I also believe you can spawn here as well, depending on where you get forced to spawn. So again, learn the spawns. I'm pretty sure that's all of them. I could be missing one, but I think that is all of them. And again, you're gonna want to play defensive. So holding angles when you die. You know, don't just hop around or slide hop around, you know, randomly, because if they're a better player than you, they're just going to get behind you. They're just going to pick you off. So that's sort of what I mean by playing defensively. You know, sitting in corners such as this corner like this, you might catch them slide hopping past you and you can just get the kill on them. Things like that will just help you. Playing this angle here, playing this angle here, playing this angle here. It's just a defensive way of playing, and you know, it can help you get a win against a better player. Now, another strategy which not too many people use often is basically shotgun boosting yourself up on this top crate here. And what that does is you basically can spawn trap really hard against this spawn right here, and you can also spawn trap against that spawn right there. Now what you can do is you can force them to spawn there. So let's say you get a kill, right, and you want him to spawn there. You can jump over this way quickly and he'll spawn right there, and then he'll have to come out and you could easily pick him off. And then once he dies, you can force the spawn back over this way and you can have him spawn right here and kill him there. The problem with this strategy, and the reason why it doesn't work that well against really good players, is because they're going to kill you while you're getting up there. So that's the main issue. If you can get up on these crates quickly, you can probably do this strat effectively. But if you're playing a really good player, they're just going to kill you as you're climbing up or boosting up there. If you're playing an average player or a beginner player, it'll definitely work on them and you'll easily get the win. Then the last strategy that I see a lot of good players doing is basically playing mid. Now, I don't play this strategy much, but there is a lot of people that do it, which is basically just where they're trying to get control over the mid ground, whether that's the lower side of mid or on top of these crates right here. And most times what they'll do is they'll get a little b-hop going, which I'll try to do right now, such as something like this, and they'll basically just kill you and keep forcing spawns back to back, you know, and you know, pretty much doing things like that and just holding angles in the middle. So, you know, just boom, boom, you know, things like that. So those are the 3 strategies you can do for 1v1 wagers that can help you. You can pick what you want to pick, what you think is best for your playstyle. And then the last thing that we're going to go over, which could really be for any player, is just settings. Settings are so important. So before you do any of this stuff, I could have talked about this in the beginning of the video, but it just so happened that it played out this way, just because I felt like the other stuff was more important. But settings is also really important. So you could do the settings first, or you could do it last. It doesn't really matter. If you're comfortable with your settings, then, you know, disregard this step. But if you're not comfortable with your settings or you want to improve them, try, you know, using a comp player settings, one of your favorite comp players. Try using one of your favorite content creator settings if they are a good player. Don't just pick some random, you know, streamer that, you know, isn't a good player. But if there's a good player, you know, I consider myself a pretty decent player. There's other players that are better than me that stream, yada, yada, yada. Try to get their settings if you can, and tweak their settings a little bit to your liking. So get theirs, try theirs. If it's not quite, you know, if it doesn't quite fit you, tweak it a little bit, but keep it basically the same. And then that's how you really find perfect settings. That's basically what I did. I got settings from one of my fellow 24/7 members. I tweaked them just a little bit to my liking, and they're perfect for me right now, and I really enjoy my settings right now, and it works for me well. So just do the same thing. You can do that in the start before you try all these other steps, or you can do it after if you want to just try practicing other stuff first. And then really just the last thing we're going to quickly go over is slide hopping. It's just a super simple thing. This is more for beginner players, if anything, but just learn how to slide hop well. Practice in a private match like I'm doing right now. Basically, slide hopping, if you aren't aware, is just a combination of shifting and jumping. Basically, you jump up, you shift when you land, and then you quickly hit spacebar again and repeat the process over and over and over again until you pretty much have a nice flow and pick up a lot of speed. And then you can just, you know, do 180s or 90-degree angles or anything like that to avoid objects and just build momentum pretty much. And this will help you a lot of times in public matches and things like that. But again, you don't have to focus too much on this all the time. If you don't want to, you can focus more on defensive play. It just depends on what kind of player you want to be, pretty much. In public matches, sometimes I play offensively, sometimes I play defensively and spawn trap. It all depends, you know, on how I'm feeling or what I'm doing. If I'm going for a nuke, you should play defensively. If you're just playing for high kills, play offensively. It's really that simple. And then, like I said, if you're in a 1v1 and you're playing somebody that you know is better than you, play defensively. If you know you're better than them, play offensive and kill them. It's that easy. So it all pretty much goes down to that kind of stuff. Hopefully this video helps. The one thing I will say before I end out here is I have been going through some struggles in life recently. That's why I haven't really posted that much recently. I'm trying to get back on track with things right now. So if you guys, can just keep up the support, keep up the love and positivity. If you have any YouTube video ideas, let me know. That helps me out a lot. Try to come up with a creative idea if you can. Leave a comment down below and subscribe, like I said, if you haven't already, or if these tips help you. That's going to be all, guys. I will see you in the next video.